Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Jay Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are thrilled to have Lucas Oliveira, the founder and CEO of Gewählt Consulting. Lucas brings a unique blend of finance expertise from his time at Deloitte and Stepan Company, a personal immigration journey from Brazil to the USA, and a passion for helping professionals and entrepreneurs navigate U.S. visa processes. Based in Chicago, Illinois, Gewählt Consulting, founded in 2018, is transforming the immigration consulting space with a 99% visa approval rate and services across the USA, Brazil, and France. We'll be exploring his founding story, how his business empowers clients to achieve their American dreams, and his vision for scaling this impact-driven venture. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. Lucas, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
An absolute pleasure to have you on the show today, Lucas. So I would really love to start at the beginning for our listeners here today with you, Lucas. What specific problem in the immigration consulting landscape really inspired you to start Gewählt Consulting?
Sure. Actually, it's pretty much personal because as you probably noticed, I have an accent. I was born in the US. I was born in Brazil, and my wife is American, but we got married, but we lived in Brazil for 5 years.
Ah,
And then after 5 years, she was like, you know what? I want to go back to the US. And then that's when I started, okay, let's see what the options are for me. And that's when I started having more of a contact with immigration. So it started with me, all my struggles through the immigration process, which a lot of people don't know how hard it is,
yes.
the bureaucracy and etc. So if you want to come legally to the US, there's a lot of work to do. So that's where pretty much everything started.
I love it. I love it. With that, I would love to hear a bit more of the evolution of Gewalt, All Consulting's core offer, and what you've done as far as from when you first started and launched Gewalt to today. How has that evolved from the services you provide to who you serve?
Sure. It all started with a friend of mine in Chicago. We both have like the entrepreneur spirit, but we were just basically brainstorming what kind of business we should start. And Gavoc didn't start specifically with immigration, but we started more as like developing business plans for people that want to use that for immigration purposes. But it actually started as a side gig with a friend and I, and we both had 9 to 5 jobs. We were both climbing the corporate ladder, earning pretty well. But we just thought, let's give this a shot as a side gig for now. Let's see how much money we can make as a side job. And it turned out like we were pretty successful as a side gig. And then things actually changed. My friend, like he really wanted to continue his corporate job. And then that's always started in 2018. And fast forward like several years later, I really wanted to like just have my own company, work for myself. But that's really hard once you are in corporate earning really well, and if you have a family and if you have young kids, because the risk is always there. If you're in your early 20s, single, that's fine. You have a lot, you can risk a lot because you don't have people depending on you and etc. But for me particularly, I had a family to take care of. My son was just a newborn, but at the same time I knew that's what I wanted. I knew that I wanted to have my own company. I wanted to be my own boss. And especially I knew because in corporate, even though I was already making 6 figures, if you work really hard, you're still pretty much earning your same salary, you're still just waiting for a promotion, maybe next year, maybe 2 years from now, maybe when someone retires. And I realized that if I applied the same effort to my own business, I could make much more. So that's what actually drove me to make this jump. So basically, Give Out started as a side gig. We transitioned to that. And then actually in 2023, I decided to make this transition, to dive in and really quick. But there was some bumps in the road, but then we were actually I was able to dedicate full time on that 100%. And we were very successful from the beginning. So that was really encouraging.
Incredible. And I think that it's so inspiring and truly appreciate you sharing that because there's so many listeners who are in
Mhm.
the same boat, right? They're
Yeah.
scared to take the leap and to become a founder and to run their own company. But I think the most important lesson there is you have to do what you're passionate about, right? Do what you love, and it's going to always end up working out. And as you mentioned, if you can give 100% of your effort in a
Yeah.
corporate job, you can give even more for yourself and make so much more than you ever expected. So just incredible sharing that. So I would love to get into the nuts and bolts here with you, Lucas, of Gewählt and what you're really doing today to generate revenue there. So walk us through your core offer. I know that you have some visa advisory, some business plan development. What are
Mhm.
your core offerings? How is it structured for your clients? And who is your ideal client there? So a three-part question for you.
Sure. So basically, our core offer are immigration visas that are employed based, but you don't need a job offer. So a lot of people don't know that, but there are visas that lead to the green card, and you don't need a job offer, to obtain that. So pretty much the visa EB-2 is one of them, the EB-1. So our core offer are for basically usually people that they already did their master's degree in the US or somewhere else, and they are working for their OPT like for the next 3 years. And they want to change, they don't want to be students anymore, they want to actually go for a more permanent status. So I would say 50% of our clientele, they are already in the United States with another type of visa. They are working with a work visa or doing their master's or PhD, and they want to go for something that is more permanent. So that's our core offer. Like we basically walk through the whole process in terms of visa application and etc.
Amazing. So really the main thing that you offer is that consulting service for
Correct.
these professionals who are already in the US, they've already got their degrees, and now they're looking for more of a permanent visa opportunity. So you consult with them and then walk them through the process and guide them through exactly what's needed to get there. Is that the offer there?
That is correct. Yes.
Incredible. So talk to me being the founder, right? You've seen success over the past couple of years. In 2023, you took this on full time. So been full time for a couple of years. How are you approaching the idea of scaling Devault Consulting now that you are here full time and productizing this offer to really take it to that next level? What's your mindset on that?
So this is something I think every single day, because there are just several steps to take in terms of scaling. So for example, now we already have 3 employees, and that's something we can discuss that was as well.
Yes.
It gets to a point where you start at first you're trying to sell, get clients and etc. And once you get those clients, you need to deliver a service. So if all you're doing is just selling a final product, that might be easier, but a service that can extend for several months and you have to deliver that with quality. So at first you're just trying to sell as much as possible, just to get those clients. And then once you get those clients, you're thinking more about the operational part of like actually delivering the service. That's where actually we started hiring some other personnel to help us with that. And then once you have a strong operational team, that's when you start thinking about scaling in terms of diversifying your sales channel. And that's something we are trying to take to the next step on that, because a lot of people they sell only on the platform that they have a bigger audience. So like a lot of people are just on Instagram, a lot of people are just on YouTube, other people on several other media. But when it comes to scale, you actually have to understand that you need all sales channels that you can have. You have Instagram, but you also have LinkedIn. You have LinkedIn, but you also have Facebook. You also have, why not, even a physical brick and mortar? Because I really believe even if your business is 100% online, there's still a big opportunity for you to take that on physical premises or even with partnerships with people that have physical premises. In terms of scale, you have to sell through all channels, not just the channel that you are most well known for.
I absolutely love that. So with that there, I definitely want to touch a bit more on what you just mentioned, right? The
Sure.
acquisition side. So
Yeah.
obviously this is a service that you're providing to where there's not a long life with the client, right? Once you get the
Correct.
visa, they're out on their own. So this
That
is
is
something
correct.
that you have to continuously get some new leads, new clients continuously. What are you seeing on that side that's been successful for you? What channels have been most effective for consistently generating leads?
Yeah, you want, as I said, like you want on the lead as well, you want to generate from as many channels as one. But one thing that is has the highest, by far the highest rate of conversion are recommendations. Your current or past clients will recommend, because they are immigrants as well. They know other people in the same situation, and they're going to recommend your firm. And what we've seen, like in this area, leads that come to you without any recommendation has usually a single digit conversion rate. When we are talking about recommendations, we've seen rates that can go up to 80%,
Yes.
because you want this type of service. If you put yourself in the client's shoes, you want someone that you know, that you trust, that have gone through the same process with you. So that person works as someone that, like an intermediate, like almost like a business partner. And you want to have this type of trust. So what I've seen is that recommendations from current or past clients are what actually brings growth in its actual. We have clients that have, and what we've done as well is we pay clients a referral fee if the referral actually signs a contract with us. So that keeps the incentive. It's not just, there has to be some sort of incentive. It's a two-way street. And we have clients that we pay them more in commission that they actually have paid us in their fees. So we want to have this type of partnership, because then you have, let's say, dozens of people that are pretty much working for you or on your behalf without a salary, but they do get a commission, and it's just a win-win.
Amazing. So with that there, that's being that referrals is
Yeah.
the best route for you right now. I've had many founders on the show, Lucas, that have a lot of success on that front. The one big thing,
Mhm.
obviously, you're seeing success there, but the predictability isn't always there. Do you have,
Correct.
what's the mindset there? Are you going to start looking into doing ads and more around social media to really have that lever you can pull for predictable lead generation?
Sure. So what I'm really seeing is like predictability comes with the amount of effort that you put in every aspect of lead generation. So
Yes.
I work as if there will be no recommendations this year. Work as if there will be no leads from this specific channel this year. Every single channel you have to give the most, because you cannot depend on one channel, one recommendation. And especially in this case, recommendation comes from clients. You cannot depend on clients because they're not your employees, they're not paid for that on a regular basis. These are more nice to haves, but you really have to generate leads in every aspect. And once you see that certain channels or certain products or certain services are not working, you really need to adapt. So just this in the beginning of the year, people are really unsure about immigration and etc. And we've seen a lot of petitions from other firms being denied.
Mhm.
So we saw an opportunity there. There is an opportunity for us to either refile this case or appeal, or to bring these clients from other people too, so we can assist them in this journey. Because a lot of times with other firms, when a client gets their petition denied, they don't get the follow up, or they feel like they're just being abandoned. And there is a lot of opportunities there as well to get these type of clients that they had an unsuccessful petition for visa, and we can walk through them to, okay, let's go past that, let's try it again, let's give our best. So it's pretty much like that. You have to work as if you cannot depend on one or two or even three types of channels for lead generation. You have to work on all of them and give the best.
Correct. Absolutely. And that's the thing, right? Really being able to have a lot of options on that front. So I know that you
Correct.
mentioned that you have three employees now. What does
Mhm.
that sales process look like? Are you still running the sales? Are they helping you more on the back end, or is that a salesperson that you brought on? What does that sales process look like with your team right now?
Yeah, right now all of them are operational in terms of actually delivering the product, and I'm responsible for actually making the sales and running the marketing. We're now actually hiring someone else to be part of our marketing team. And after that, what I'm envisioning, this is, and let me tell you, I started this business with $400. Okay.
Ah,
I did not have anything on me, even though like I had a good salary. My wife did not work. She said stay at home mom. We had just two young kids. And if you're making, let's say, $100,000 in Chicago, that doesn't go really far if you have a family. When we started, just started with $400. We made our own website. What we've done is basically we get one client. I take what I just need to take just to pay my bills, but like I reinvest that money on the business in the business, and then we just keep doing that. That's very important, because a lot of people think, oh, you need just a lot of money to do this. But what you need is basically a business that once you make a sale, it's a good sale. So you just don't want to put like a lot of effort just to make $20. You want to make a lot of money with one sale, and you want a product that sells a lot. And a lot of people are willing to come to the US. If a lot of people from several countries, they want to come to the US. It's where all the opportunities are, and they are willing to pay a lot of money for that. So if you don't have like much money to invest, no one is willing to invest in your business, and you're not willing to go on that. You really need to think about a business model that has high volume, but also a high ticket.
Mm, absolutely. So with that there, being that you are focused on all the sales right now, are you
Yeah.
looking to now, as you're continuing to scale and grow, are you looking to bring on more of a sales team, setter and closer, to put yourself in more of that founder level role to focus on those founder tasks?
That's correct. And it's a challenge because once you take care of the operational, then you have to take care about the marketing to bring more leads. And then once you cannot meet with all those leads, then you need to bring someone else in. And then from there, our next step now is actually this year to build a commercial and marketing team. So this way, I'll be more like on the strategic side of the business. And it is really hard in terms of delegating activities, but it is something that needs to be done in terms of for you to scale and for you to not be a slave of your own business.
Right now, it sounds like a couple of the bottlenecks are going to be more on that predictable lead generation side for you. And then again, the sales team, bringing on a setter, a closer, putting yourself in that CEO role. So those bottlenecks that you're going to be breaking through, obviously, as you continue to grow and scale. Paint us the picture here, Lucas. What does the rest of this year look like for you on that path for growth, breaking through those bottlenecks and just continuing to
Yeah.
scale and succeed? What does that look like?
Yeah, so pretty much we've built like a really good operational team right now. And now my focus, like 90% of my focus now is going to be on marketing and sales.
I love it.
So I really want to bring more people to help us with that for us, because one thing that happens is in our case, I focus too much on the operation, but I had to this past year, even in the beginning of the year, and you start neglecting marketing, you start neglecting your social media and etc. But you can't. Like a founder has to wear several gloves. And so now that we have a good operational team, I feel more comfortable actually focusing 90% of my time in marketing and sales.
I
Yeah.
absolutely love that. And clear as day that you're going to achieve those, and just with your passion, your drive. Clearly,
Yeah.
you went through that experience. So having that firsthand experience as well just puts you in such a great predicament. So one more question for you here before we
Mhm.
go into the lightning round, Lucas. And that's going to
Sure.
be, how do you see the immigration consulting industry evolving in the coming years, especially with your global approach? What are you doing to really keep Gewählt at the forefront of that evolution?
Yeah, so this is a very interesting question because AI is on everything, and
Yes.
in immigration is no different.
Yes.
What we've seen is like you can trust AI just to a certain point. At least the type of versions that are available to the public, and even if you pay the paid services, it has several limitations. And what we've seen is like a lot of business, they go full AI with care of the inaccuracies that come with it. Other business, they don't want to take AI at all. So there's this pretty much this struggle. I see like really a middle point where we use AI where AI is strongest, but we keep the core of the quality with our team and the human side of it, because you really don't want to present a service, a report, a petition where the client can see that's you haven't put much effort into it. So what I see right now is basically this adaptation, this hybrid style of using AI with a lot of care, but also bringing up the best of all the human skills with that. So I see that on that part, and we also operate on a alternative business style, because I'm not a lawyer, but we have lawyers in our team
Man.
that take care of all the legal aspects. And there are some jurisdictions in the US where non-lawyers can have financial interest in law firms. A lot of people don't know that Washington, D.C. is a great example of that, with a lot of flexibility. And that's something I've put a lot of thought as well, because as founders, we sometimes think, oh, if I want to, let's say, have a tech company, should I go for an MBA in tech or an MBA in engineer or something? But you really need to focus on the entrepreneurial part. You can hire engineers, you can hire IT, you can hire all of those. but you cannot hire an entrepreneur for your own company. You have to be that person. The way I see is, like the companies that have the best of law firms and the best of consulting firms will actually be the ones that are winning, because they know how to sell as a consulting firm, but they have high quality services as a law firm.
Absolutely. Love that. So I just have one more question for you here to wrap us up here, Lucas. It's been incredible having you on the show. This is such a needed service, and it's incredible what you're doing with the business so far. So if you can give us a piece of advice for the listeners that are tuning in, just heard your incredible journey this far, what can you leave them with before we wrap up the show today, Lucas?
Sure. It's something that I had to learn in order to make a successful business. Is it really, you need to learn how to sell. A lot of people, let's say they have an IT consulting firm and etc. They're really good at the technical aspects, the operational part, but they don't know how to sell. And even let's say like some law firms, attorneys in general, they don't know how to sell. They know about the law, they know how to write a memo or etc., but they don't know how to sell. In order for you to have a successful business, learning how to sell, it's not an option. And you can definitely hire like really good salespeople, but you do have to have a deep knowledge on that, because sales are the heart of the company. And that's something that I had to learn through the process. I don't come from a marketing background, I don't come from a sales background. My background is pretty much in finance. So that is something that I had to develop in order to have a successful business. So my advice is have a sales strategy with very defined sales processes and focus 90%, especially in the beginning. You really should focus 90% of your time in sales.
Absolutely. Incredible. With that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. And Lucas, truly thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing your incredible journey and your insights with us. As I mentioned, your passion, your drive, the effort, the intelligence is clear as day why you're seeing success and why you will continue to see it. So truly, it was an honor and a pleasure to have you on. It was a phenomenal conversation. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And also check out Gewählt Consulting at gewalt.com. And that is spelled GEWAHLT.com for their free eligibility analysis. And follow Lucas on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Lucas-immigration. For more resources and insights on us, you can visit us here at closers.io, where we are dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth. Until then, keep climbing, and we will see you on the next one.